We'll call the meeting of October 18th in session.
Make the motion, we approve the regular meeting minutes of October 11th.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the regular meeting minutes of October 11th. Any additions, deletions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make the motion, we approve the non-public meeting minutes 1 and 2 from October 11th.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the non-public meeting minutes 1 and 2 of October 11th. Any additions, deletions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make the motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent
Just
agenda.
have a quick question. Should we direct the town administrator to let the person know for item F that they're in Swanzey and not Keeney?
I'll make it.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting. And they're very assumptive. The ads are running on the radio and we haven't approved it yet.
We haven't approved.
Unless somebody's been going there for a haircut.
Wow.
Anyway,
Okay. We beat that to death.
that was for June Furter.
Aha.
Remember June?
Yep. I sure do.
Yeah.
Okay. So the motion is made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public input. Seeing none? Chief?
Somebody on the screen.
What's that?
Might be somebody on the screen.
I don't care.
Are you trying to upset him?
I don't
You're on
care.
a roll.
I don't want to roll the great. Okay, Chief, you're on.
Well, thank you very much for having this ceremony here, I'd like to introduce our newest officer, Kyle Titus. Kyle comes to us from Pennsylvania. Kyle met a young lady from New Hampshire. He married her about 6 months ago. So now he lives in New Hampshire.
Congratulations.
Kyle is a veteran. He served with the United States Marine Corps as a sergeant. We got some supporters here.
They can't talk in the library, so they take this opportunity.
Very good. Kyle did graduate from this police academy in Pennsylvania. He does have limited law enforcement experience, so we're very happy to have him on our team. We'll first do the oath, then after the oath, Lauren will come up and do the thing. Did you memorize the oath? Raise your right hand. Recite after me. I state your name.
I, Kyle Titus,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform all duties
discharge and perform all duties
incumbent upon me as a full-time police officer,
incumbent upon me as a full-time police officer,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities,
agreeable to the rules and regulations
agreeable to the rules and regulations,
of the Constitution and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
the Constitution and laws of the state of New Hampshire.
Very good for Marine.
Hey, wait.
Lauren, can you come up in the back? The badge is a symbol of authority, integrity, trust. It also serves as a symbol for commitment to the town of Swanzey to protect and serve. Hopefully we have no blood here. Very good.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, Stratton Library trustees.
Which one do you want first?
You have to retrieve your secretary there. I can't blame the guy for trying.
You're on.
All right. We're asking for less money than last year. Is that okay?
That's great.
What's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this
What's wrong
picture?
with the picture? I know. Primarily from last year, we needed to buy some computer hardware and do some maintenance on this library, and we don't expect to need that this year, so that's the main price difference, but it's not the same.
Good.
Any questions?
Questions, guys?
It's pretty straightforward to me.
Good job.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Aren't you glad you showed up?
Right, yeah, the electricity, we thought we would need more, and we didn't. One minute.
Good. Thanks, guys.
They're all in community power, right?
Yes, unless they have a different file, yeah, I believe so.
Okay, now Susan.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
So we're asking for an increase of $144,122, and most of that is for staffing, 5% raise, 3% COLA, 2% for the staff salary, and 6 hours added on to our youth service librarian's hours. She is doing so great. She can't get all the work done in the library and taking work home. So she's doing unpaid work at home. So these 6 hours will help her to do her work and get paid for it. Plus, giving her an extra day on Monday, having her work on Monday will give her more opportunities to have more programming. This, I think, actually, I have a little report that she wrote up that I can actually give you all. That will help you understand what she's doing. Yeah. Honestly, that was the best thing we ever did, was adding her onto giving her more hours.
Is it attendance?
I think she does have numbers for programming and summer reading and stuff.
I have attendance numbers in those. So I have 3. So it's working.
Hey.
Thank you.
This is the operating budget.
Our increase is coming in also a little bit lower than last year's. So last year we did get a bigger increase to try and catch up some of the staff, and we also had the increased cost for the utilities and everything last year. So this time we're just going for 2% for the increased staffing, as far as getting an increase of 2% plus the COLA, so it's 5%.
Were the programs, clubs able to be established in the Swanzey schools that were
She's
listed
working
here?
very much with Beyond Bell.
The Beyond the Bell program.
Yeah, she's totally coordinating with them.
Yeah.
So they've been receptive to
Oh,
Yeah.
it's been a great
Collaboration.
partnership.
Great.
Actually, it's kind of vital because their grant funding requires them to have an MOU with some other community organizations, and we're one of them. So,
So it's working well.
Yeah,
I mean, currently it's running two, something at Mount Caesar and something at, Storytime at Mount Caesar, and I think a book club at Cutler, but Beyond the Bell runs some 7-week camps, and I'm not sure what's gonna happen with the next, but that's what you do this year.
And how did you find attendance over this summer prior to the work that you did? Was it up from last year and the year before?
yeah.
And raising
Oh my
my
gosh, it
eyebrows.
was incredible.
And what?
This summer.
She said she's raising her eyebrows because
Oh.
it was like,
That's a big yes.
yeah.
So it's working.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely. It was a fantastic thing for us to be able to do that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Great.
We built it and they came.
We built it and they came, that's right.
You're not done yet.
So the summer reading used to have about 50 children every summer. And most of those kids are still coming, but Beyond the Bell adds another like 170 kids who are also part of the summer reading, so.
We can't fit them in there, they have to come in groups.
Yeah,
Good problem to have.
yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
And the capital improvement increase, that's the 5,000 that was short on the floor project.
You want us to talk about capital improvement also?
Well, I see
Because we
that.
did it the other one.
It's on your list, though.
Yeah, but, did you?
You don't have to give us a whole spiel because he's gonna get it on the committee.
He already got it.
We
Got it?
Trying to figure out the numbers,
Okay.
but we got it.
No, is that?
Definite need.
Yeah,
We can leave.
You can move.
We want to support these guys too.
He said definite need.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't know my ears in.
Okay. You feel comfortable with the numbers, the utilities?
Yeah, I believe they use our heating contract they have in the past. So, yeah, they're looking at like a 6%.
You know, we're putting in the new heating system, so our costs will be different also.
Yeah.
So when the construction is done, it's a new heat pump that's going to be in. So those costs will go down, hopefully.
And were you able to have a fruitful conversation with the developer, the contractor, with regard to bridging the completion date versus the town meeting for funding?
They seem to be right on schedule with the way everything's going.
But the funding gap,
With the funding gap, we did not talk to them about would they carry us over, but we're optimistic because they didn't send the first bill yet. So if they're kind of behind in their billing, we feel like it's gonna kind of roll
all right in
over.
place.
As they said, once a month we get a bill, and we haven't got a bill yet, so.
We'll check the
we
mail
will,
until the end
we
of
will talk to
December.
them about that if we
Yeah.
have,
We feel confident that they'll go with that.
they'll be fine.
Great.
So you guys, thank you very much.
Yes, really.
You know, this is really a a win for the whole community. You know, truly, the library is. Again, thank you. Nice work.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
appreciate it.
You're rolling right along, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think we're gonna get some
Good luck, guys.
over that relatively quickly, and I don't think there's anything to do. Then, we'll- Pete, you're up.
Well, thanks. Hi, folks. Pete and Keeney, Delaney, recent full-time residents of 2 Brown Lane in Swanzey, New Hampshire. We moved in the first week in July. And everybody knows what happened on July 10th. So it was about 10 days after we moved in that the skies opened up. And we're aware, you have what we requested basically. We're aware of the letter that you received from your attorney. And I have just a quick excerpt from a letter that our governor wrote to the president. And I just quoted for the record of the town of Swanzey, Cheshire County. Due to impacts from the incident period, the town suffered severe damages to the town infrastructure, as well as numerous residents reporting damages to their homes and washed out driveways. Some roads were destroyed, leaving residents stranded. Several roads were closed for a week or more. In conducting emergency repairs, the town utilized an estimated 12,000 cubic yards of gravel to make roads possible for the first responders. It goes on to say the town, the budget or spend $725,165. Invalidated damages, the highway budget was $1,073,000. So the town spends 68% of their annual appropriation utilizing the necessary repairs due to impacts from the severe storm. We bought that home back in the mid-'80s, and one of the things that became quickly apparent was the runoff down Talbot Hill way back then, and there was a town culvert underneath East Shore Road that exited on our property. We decided we'd try to do something with that runoff, and so we put in a catch basin and culvert and sent it down the east side of our property, go down the south side and exit to the lake. So it went around our property. It worked well until this recent batch of storms that we had. In trying to mitigate and improve what we thought would be the overflow of the runoff from Talbot Hill, Mike Edwards and I strategized quite a bit, and we finally came up with a plan to improve our side of the drainage. The culvert under the road is the culvert. But what we think happened in the storm was the culvert became overwhelmed. The water then washed across East Shore Road and right down our driveway. So what we've done is we've installed a large bulkhead with an 18-inch pipe just as the water exits the culvert underneath East Shore Road. We've tried to straighten out the flow to eliminate the restrictions, and then we actually installed a 18-inch culvert underneath our driveway in a straight line down to the lake. So we see no restriction that would allow that culvert that the town owns underneath East Shore Road to fail, because that's what we think happened. It became overwhelmed, and the water ran down our driveway and washed us out. What we were asking for is not necessarily an improvement of Brown Lane at all. We're asking for some help in improving how we catch the water that comes down Talbot Hill. And in doing so, we enlisted Mike to do all that work. And we had his invoices, we did pay. And we're wondering, hoping that the town might find some way to help us out with that expense. Seeing as how it did, in fact, improve the water flow coming underneath the East Shore Road through the culvert. So that's our story.
Questions?
Has there been discussion with Joe DeRusso?
Yes.
And he was involved in?
Joe has been there since the start. And quite honestly, Joe's recommendation was basically what we did. And the lady, we had the folks from, I think it's the Environmental Services come by and assess also. And they said that that would be, you set the bar very high, that that's exactly what they would recommend as well. You can't really take that volume of water and try to turn it 90 degrees and direct it somewhere else. It's better to do a straight line, and that's what it is. It's a straight line from town's culvert underneath East Shore Road, directly under our driveway, directly down to the lake, and it's an open drainage trench, so we didn't want to put that in close because that's not favorable. That water has to naturally run down the lake. So we just kind of sculpted it a bit, but it's still an open drainage trench from the end of our culvert underneath our driveway down the lake. But just straight line. And if we had that kind of storm again, and it's interesting that after we had our July 10th storm, there was another storm in Pittsburgh, a storm in Ludlow, a storm in Manhattan, all within 250 miles of us, all within 30 days of that storm. You know, so we decided to do it right away. We didn't want to wait and see it happen again. And so my guys and Mike, you know, I think this should be done, and let's do it and then try to see if we can get some help. So what we've done is, in the bigger picture, is improved the ability for the water to flow under the culvert and the Shore Road down the lake. And hopefully it won't wash down Brown Lane or any of the other roads.
Is there any other type FEMA funding that would be available to private citizens as far as something like this?
I don't believe so. Initially, the state was directing people to go to 211, file request, but I don't think any of the private
Nothing came of it.
property funds came to that way.
Well, we have pretty clear guidance from our town's attorney, so it would just be whether there's a way, as Sly's suggesting, to maneuver the process.
Yeah, and what I know your attorney addressed the improvement of the Class 6 road. Certainly you can't do that. You can do 4 or 5, but Brown Lane is a private road. I'm not asking for any help on Brown Lane. I'm asking for help on our improvement of the drainage side of that culvert going under the Shore Road. And certainly, as the town goes forward, and Joe, you know, certainly verified this, that the town cleans both sides of the Shore Road, the uphill side and the downhill side. And they maintain that. We don't do that. The town does that. But what we've done is say, we're not going to, that's not enough anymore based on the size of this last one. So we went ahead and installed a very large bulkhead to get that water that's coming over Brown Lane or over East Shore if it happens again, as well as what comes through the culvert, and send that down to the lake quicker.
So from your time being there and your experience, what could we do to mitigate the runoff from Talbot Hill Road?
Joe says they've got to go to the top of the hill. You know, they have to start working on Talbot Road. You've got to do swales there to look. It's the velocity of the water that came down that really did all the damage. It wasn't, the volume certainly, but it was the picked up velocity as it came down the Shore Road. And then it overwhelmed the culvert underneath. It wouldn't handle it. Our side didn't handle it because it wasn't big enough. And that caused that huge runoff. And we were fortunate some quick repair work so you can get out of the house with Bruce Grant. So we don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah, I mean, we overbuilt.
Yep.
Basically, and what I'm asking the town is some consideration of the fact that we're trying to do our due diligence and grab that and not make it a nuisance.
Well, I think all we can do is have Michael discuss it with town's attorney.
Yeah.
And see if, what Joe's involvement might be.
Yeah, I would get Joe involved. But we're not trying to do your engineering for you. What we're trying to do is look at what happened and say, what can we do to maybe ease that pain down the road if it happens again. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that the water overwhelmed the culvert underneath the shore road, quite obviously, came across. And I mean, I can show you videos of the flood down in front of our house. We're not asking for anything. We're just really asking for the help on improving the flow of water so it doesn't go down the wrong land if it comes across the road and overwhelms that small culvert. Because I know you can't change the size of the culvert without an active dog.
All right. Well, what we'll do, Pete, is bring it to the town attorneys.
Sure. And I know it sets a precedent, I'm not,
It's gonna be difficult.
I know, but I'd like to keep working on it, that's all. I want to be a good neighbor, not a bad. Okay.
Good. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think we're done.
For the time being.
You're welcome to stay.
Welcome to stay. Well, what else is going on?
And you have the whole agenda, don't you?
Oh, that's right.
Most of the excitement.
Wait. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Complete streets.
Yep, so this is a grant we applied to.
I don't care. Seriously.
So we're talking about the new business, Beverly, the Complete Streets implementation grant.
Okay.
So the last few years, we've been using that on the Swanzey Center sidewalk extensions. We've gotten to the bridge on that one, and we're looking to use that to help for next year, kind of fill the gap on the North Winchester and California Street funding project. We didn't get the full Northern Borders Commission grant that we had applied for, so we're looking to apply for this grant to help fund some of those sidewalk improvements in that area. Well, do you want to speak before, during, or after? I know Mike wanted to speak.
Sure, whenever you think it's appropriate.
Sure, let's take the time.
Right now?
Yep.
Okay, so the Rail Trail Committee has had their eye on this grant for the last couple of years to use it to purchase signal crossings at the 3 Matthews Road and Ashfield Trail crossings because of the dangerous intersections there. And we haven't applied because you've been using it, as Mike said, to complete the sidewalk up Swords Crossing. So I guess I'm here to lobby to do that for this round if possible. And if not, the next round. Mike asked me to check with Henry Underwood to see if something like this would be appropriate. He replied to me and said, yes, it would be. He gave some study of how these signals reduce pedestrian accidents by 47%. So I'm just here to make that proposal that we use this mass grant to purchase 3 signal crossings across the 3 Matthew Road crossings of the Asheville Rail Trail. If you're not familiar, the site angle is pretty short, the angle of the road to the trail is very shallow, so it's hard to see cars, coming pretty fast, so we're just trying to prevent an accident.
Does this help out any with snowmobiles as far as
Yeah,
radar activated or?
Well, this looks like it's activated, I believe, just by pushing a button,
Right.
I don't know, to get ones that are activated by motion probably would be more expensive, but we could look into that if you guys want us to, check that technology out.
Just point of order, Mr. Colson, is that for Sawyer's Crossing Road?
No,
this
the
would be
3
for-
Matthew Road, there's 3 places where the
Oh,
trail
Matthews
crosses
Road.
Matthew
Oh,
Road.
got it, okay, thank you.
Those 3. At Sawyer's Crossing and the trail, it's pretty much a 90-degree. The sight lines are pretty good, so
Okay.
we don't think that's nearly as risky.
Good, thank you.
How much are each of the units?
You see here, so this letter's from Brett, who's an engineer for the city of Keeney, and you can see they said they've spent anywhere from 10.5 to 13 for each pair, so each crossing would cost that.
We'd be looking at 3 crossings.
There are 3 that we feel need to be fixed. Whether you can do all 3 in the same year or not, depending on the size of the grant. But we'd like to get all 3 taken care of at some point.
What is the grant?
Up to 120 this year. It varies depending on the year.
We don't know how many people submitted because Henry just extended the application date. So that's making me think not too many towns that submitted. Like last year, Swanzey was the only town that submitted. And actually got more than you asked for, I think, to complete the whole sidewalk. So the competitiveness might be pretty small. I know typically the town doesn't submit 2 applications to the same grant, but I don't know how much this California Winchester Street project is, but that's another option.
Yeah, in light of that, basically we've gotten as much or more than we've asked for. We were gonna ask for the full amount. If they gave us less, take less, but the total project is 1.6 million, but that includes the roads and everything else.
So what's the sidewalk? You said finishing the sidewalk.
Well, it'd be replacing the existing and then extending on California.
So what's the estimate to do that?
Depends how much of the road-related stuff you include, but 300,000 to 400,000.
So way more than the grant.
But it's, it's a lot of it's tied in with the overall project. It wouldn't necessarily cost that much if you were doing it alone. So, I think at this point, we need 3 letters of support. The grant's due next Friday. I don't know that it's realistic that we'll be able to apply for this year, but I do think that I totally agree 100% that should be a priority. So, maybe for next year.
Okay, just because of time, not enough time to get it in.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have enough to scramble to get what we've been working on finished.
Okay.
Or it might be something where, like you said, just try to buy one a year or something, or see if these prices match what Joe has. But the Trails Bureau is okay with these, as far as you know.
We assume so because the city of Keeney's been doing it, so but I guess we have to check in on that to verify. I thought Bruce got all the DOT as well when he was looking. Bruce did the research on this. We need to do research.
I also think we need to be looking at a solution to complete the sidewalk down to the park for the boat launch, instead of people just dead ending at the covered bridge. That's going to be more long-term, but I think we got to be considering that. I had a few people this week that were struggling to cross the mouth of the bridge because they didn't know where to go. It was too narrow to walk through to get to where they wanted to go.
And I see the sidewalk used a lot. Like I didn't use it a lot because we're working on the Asheville Trail. So when I come over, because I'm on the east side. But even coming over here tonight, there are quite a few people. So I think it's very good.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
It's great.
I need Mike to sweep the pine needles off of it, though. So getting quite a few pine needles.
Yes.
Get my leaf blower in there.
Good.
I'd be curious to know if we're pushing till next year, if you could look into the pricing for the motion detector ones.
Oh, okay.
I see the one near my office that is very helpful because it starts blinking maybe 6 or 8 feet before the person actually gets there, which gives the driver plenty of room to slow down.
I've heard from Keeney, they can be frustrated with some of theirs that, you know, people just stand up and they don't press the button, so it doesn't, you gotta know to press the button. Some people
I've seen that right on Main Street there, right across from the college.
Right.
Students walk without pressing the button. But we can also maybe find out, because they have some of the motion detector ones too, like on Winchester Street, right? Across from the college. How are they working, right, or they have issues with those too?
Would they be solar powered? Yeah.
That's what I'd like it to be, right? Run all the wires and stuff.
Right.
Well, my experience is anything, they do work.
Good.
I've yet to encounter one that didn't.
So where did you do that?
Winchester Street and Island Street.
Oh, okay.
I'm not walking,
Yeah.
but as a driver,
Yeah.
they definitely work.
Yeah.
And it's helpful because especially the students that might be thinking of something different, they're not even,
Paying attention.
they're not paying attention to pushing a button, they just,
All right, so we'll look into motion detection and we'll look to do this next year.
it's a great
Is
project.
everybody okay with that?
Or whenever the grant comes around.
Yeah.
You know, if they have money left over, there might be a supplemental or something.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later.
Well, I'll find out because I'm on the Mass Series.
So you'll be the first to know. No, I appreciate you bringing it up again.
Yep.
It is about it, really valuable to have.
Okay, great. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Have a good evening.
Take care.
Yep, take care.
Wickham Hall, yes,
You gotta get that motion to authorize the letter of support and have the share of black and
all right.
I'll make that motion, I don't see it, but I'll make that
Page 4.
second page of that one. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll make the motion in 6A, that way.
Second?
Motion made, seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So the Wickham Hall gas range, so we currently have very nice commercial range that the committee helped purchase when the rehabilitation was done. It's nice for people who know what they're doing with it, I'll say, and are experienced with that sort of system, but it does have some drawbacks. One, it does sit a lot of the time and they're standing pilots, so we're kind of constantly burning propane, and we have an open flame in the building. And it's just had a few maintenance issues recently. There was a wedding, I think last weekend, the weekend before, that was coming in planning to use it, and there was an issue with it, difficulty getting a part. We were able to get the part like late on Friday and get it installed, but we almost had a wedding and a renter that was not going to be able to use the oven. The pilots go out, really need someone experienced with lighting them to do it, not just saying, we'll turn on the gas and hit it. So Joe had sent me that email that was included, just suggesting maybe something that's a little simpler for the overall. I mean, people aren't cooking 3 meals a weekend in there. I don't think it's getting that much use. It's definitely nice to have a range to offer, but I think we might be able to find something that's a little more user-friendly.
I talked to a gas guy that was involved in this one actually, and he said the self-igniting commercial ranges are out there, but they're wicked expensive. So if you want to get rid of the finals. Electric, I don't know. I haven't seen the electric range for commercial, you know. Obviously, they have induction, but you don't want to get that because somebody could smash the top. I'd be interested to see what he finds.
Something to think about. I mean, there's no emergency. We don't have to do anything right away, but it's just.
Is is this a used fixture?
I think it was, I think it came out of somewhere else.
I remember Mike saying that at Marlow, that he had a good source. This was, I assume that came from
I think, yeah.
from him, but
Yeah.
it was,
Well, there was one that was donated and it didn't work out.
Yeah, I think this
And
is.
then
the second
this one filled the bill, so.
I just haven't seen, is there a dual fuel? With propane on top and electric in the oven, that's a commercial grade?
Maybe. Yeah, they might have a convection oven. Gas on top, convection in the oven. Could be. Good idea.
He doesn't have.
Are you putting that in your new house? Sorry. Sure.
He's gonna have a microwave.
Remanufactured, I think.
Yeah, that's, yeah. I don't think he has enough to do, so I'm sure he could do a lot of research on this.
Katrina probably could. That's right, put it on Katrina. Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does provide heat in the winter.
No,
You're right.
I think it's getting better, it works great. That's great, it's fantastic.
Yo,
Hey, it's me.
yeah, well, we're right in the middle of the meeting. Now,
Okay, can I ask you one question?
what?
What is the network password?
Don't say this on video.
I don't know.
Text it.
Okay, good.
Okay, I'll let you know when I get home.
All right,
See you.
bye.
Bye.
Password
I
1, 2,
don't
3.
care.
No, he said, I don't know. That's what it is.
Good enough.
All right, yeah. Where are we?
Right back on track. One thing that I included in correspondence was a letter from NH on some additional funding in addition to the match grant that we just talked about for the California North Winchester Street project. Main reason I'm mentioning this, A, because we got more grant money, so that's good, but it's a little more complicated. It's kind of like the Weber Hill one, where we had to have an amount that was going to be borrowed, and then some of it is going to be what they call principal forgiveness. So we're going to have a warrant article, which I know is annoying, but for the 805, so it's going to look like we're borrowing that amount, but some of it's going to be principal forgiveness. So again, partly just letting you know, because I think overall it's good news, but also letting you know that it's just a little bit kind of different to get your mind around. I had to have a call with them to have them help me understand kind of how this works. So just to have you keep an eye out for that. We're going to have a warrant article for that. And Ben and our friends at Underwood were able to secure some additional funding to help bridge that gap.
Good job.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. And we do have a non-public.
Yeah, just one quick one.
Anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Anything from you, sir? All right, make a motion, we go into non-public under A.
Second.
Thanks for coming, Jim.
Aye.
See you later.
Here's it.
It's a long way up.
Take your time, no rush.
Oh.